WNDS Sports presents New England's favorite bowling show. From Leda Lanes in Nashua, New Hampshire. Featuring the best bowlers from around the region. Candlepin Stars and Strikes. And now your hosts, Dick Lutz and Mike Moore.
Hello again, everybody, and welcome into another edition of Candlepin Stars and Strikes on WNDS TV from Leda Lanes in Nashua, New Hampshire. Dick Lutz with Mike Moore, and it's week 3 of our third ladder series of the season, and thus far, it's been the David Dupuis show.
Well, it has been. It's pretty rare that we ever see anybody come from the number 5 spot all the way to the top, but David Dupuis is cutting through the competition. He's halfway to the top right now with 2 weeks to go.
Won his first match in overtime over Joe Stella, last week eliminating Rich Halas, and this week he takes on Rich Lotti. Let's meet our bowlers. First, our number 5 seed, winner of 2 matches in a row, from Leicester, Massachusetts, David Dupuis.
David coming in with an average of 129, high single 203, got a 495 high triple, and he bowls at Colonial Lanes in Worcester, Mass.
675 in the roll-off, and wins over Joe Stella and Halas to get him to this point where he takes on our number 2 seed, and that's Rich Lotti from Stoneham, Massachusetts.
It's been a little over 3 years since Rich Lotti has graced us with his presence. Average 121, a high single of 204, his high triple 471, and Rich bowls in Cambridge at Lanes and Games.
And Rich rolled a 695 in the roll-off to earn the number 2 seed in this ladder series, which is the third ladder series of the season. We're looking for a third participant in the Tournament of Champions. We're a couple of weeks away from crowning a champion in this ladder series. Let's get to this afternoon's match right now with David Dupuis taking on Rich Lotti when we come back to Leda Lanes in Nashua, New Hampshire for Candlepin Stars and Strikes. We began this ladder series with 5 outstanding bowlers. 2 have been eliminated along the way, with David Dupuis, the number 5 seed, having ousted Joe Stella and Rich Halas, setting up this afternoon's match with Dupuis and Rich Lotti, and we're ready to go from Leda Lanes in Nashua, New Hampshire. Anthony Pastore, as you see, the number 1 seed, waiting in the wings. So Dupuis with 2 wins under his belt. Can he make it 3 in a row? We'll find out as we get ready to go at Leda Lanes in Nashua for Candlepin Stars and Strikes on WNDS TV. And we're underway. First ball thrown by David Dupuis, half Worcester. As we tape this show on Veterans Day, it's a no-school day, and Leda Lanes is jam-packed. There are people bowling, open bowling going on all around us. There are a lot of people in the building, and there's an atmosphere of excitement. And a great crowd on hand, as you can see in the background, as David Dupuis starts with a 10 box.
There's a big old fat split. 3-4-6 with Noah to help him out. Takes a pretty good cut shot to get the 3 over into the 4.
I don't know if we'll have a chance with one of the cameras, and I'll give the guys in the truck an early heads up on that. If they can pan down to our left, down to the early numbers of the lanes on this side of the house, and see some of the younger bowlers who are here at Leda Lanes, get an idea of the type of people who are participating in Candlepin bowlings. And well, I'll tell you, rumors of the death of Candlepin bowling are greatly exaggerated when you look at a crowd like we're seeing here at Leda Lanes on a no-school day, when kids are out with families, young and old. It's just a great, great thing to see.
And a good break for Rich Lotti, who had nothing more than a 6-pin to worry about here. Some wood on either side, or he can take it directly without touching anything.
And he uses the wood. Rich Lotti is 34 years old, from Stoneham, Massachusetts, bowls at Lanes and Games in Cambridge. He's been bowling for 26 years. He's been on WNDS 17 times over the years. No strangers to the bright lights of TV. He missed the head pin that time, but got a pretty good drop with 6 pins. He's a roofer for U.S. Roofing in Peabody. He and his wife, Sandy, have 1 child, a daughter, Megan, 14 months old.
As we tape this on November 11th, they got married November 11th, 2000, 3 years ago today.
Oh, today is their anniversary. Son of a gun. There it is, as we tape. Yeah.
Last time we saw Rich, it was a few months before he got married. They were engaged at the time.
And that'll be a 9 box. an early lead for Rich Lotti of 6 pins over David Dupuis, who's 41 years old. And he and his wife Jill have been married for 7 years. He's a steel worker for Comtech in Worcester. Bowls out of Colonial Lanes in Worcester. My old stomping grounds.
Now the home to only one bowling center after, as we discussed last week, a total of almost 2 dozen during its heyday. Funny, there are lots of little nooks and crannies in New England where there have been bowling centers. I was speaking to somebody who was telling me there was a social club in Lowell, I believe, that had a number of bowling lanes in its basement area for members to participate. You just don't see that anymore.
Oh, when I was in high school, we bowled at Colonial every Sunday afternoon, and there was a Jewish Community Center League that was just, I don't know, a couple of hundred kids, I think, that were there every Sunday afternoon bowling for years. It was great.
Yeah, I was a product of the junior bowling program as well, and boy, what great fun that was. End of the season, you have a couple of hot dogs and a Coke, you get your bowling trophies, and you couldn't wait till September when it started again.
David missed the spare. Everybody thought he was going to make it, but that sleeper pin in the back cost him the mark, and he'll settle for a 9-box. Open through the first 4 frames of the first string is David Dupuis. Rich Lotti with a mark in the first has an early lead. Here's some of the kids that are bowling here at Leda Lanes. As you look down, you see young and old. Look at that. On a no-school day, what better way to spend the day than to come out and go bowling, Candlepin bowling. And they're just having a great time. And it's great to see. They just love it. Great shot.
There's a pro bowler of the future, perhaps. Rich Lotti leaving the 8-9 and picking up the spare in the 3rd box.
Nice shot by Rich Lotti.
So he's got 2 spares in his first 3 frames and an early lead on champion so far, David Dupuis.
Here's Lotti on the spare. Great shot, first ball, leaving the 7-pin. Nine in the mark. And another mark for Rich Lotti. So 3 marks and 4 boxes for Rich Lotti, putting the early pressure on David Dupuis, and Dupuis finds himself down by 16 pins plus a ball. Now check it, that was a 10-box. No, it was a spare for Rich Lotti. You've got a 10-box, and it was a spare. I had spare. So those of you scoring at home who saw the scoreboard, the scoreboard was an error. The scoreboard is still in error. And that is an 8-box for David Dupuis. Now our scoreboard is correct. Here's a good pocket shot in the 1-2 pocket across over to the Brooklyn side. 8-pin drop, spare opportunity here for David Dupuis. We talked about Leicester a couple of weeks ago, David's hometown, on the other side of Worcester. On the, ooh, look at all of that action and no result. The 10-pin still stands. David is from Leicester. Leicester's on Route 9, west of Worcester, headed to the western part of the state. That'll be a 10-box. We made reference to the fact that there's a great restaurant right on Route 9, the Castle Restaurant, which I know from my younger days, having grown up in Worcester.
Well, let's see, after mentioning it 2 weeks in a row, they probably owe you a couple dinners now, huh?
I don't think we mentioned it last week. I think we mentioned it the first week.
Was it?
Haven't been there in a long time. Long time.
Well, there's another split for Rich Lotti, filling a spare with a 7. 3-4-7 split.
Not going to make that one, so no bonus money. $50 goes to the bowler who puts 3 marks together. The triple strike jackpot is at $750.
Haven't seen Rich Lotti since the year 2000. He was number 5 seed, beat John Zampi 400 to 295. Oh my, there's a bit of a margin of victory. 105 pins on October 1st of 2000.
9-pin drop, 7-pin still stands. Wood still moving on the deck. He's trying to get the wood, and he's going to make the spare. 4 marks in 6 boxes for Rich Lotti, but no bonus money. Unable to put 3 together. David Dupuis without a mark through 6 boxes. Trailing by 24 pins plus a ball. That's going to be off the head pin, a half Worcester on the right side for David Dupuis. We're going to get to some of your cards and letters and emails. We've got a bunch that have been left over.
Hmm. 10-pin fell the wrong way, leaving the 6.
Nice email from Cecile Rogers in Upton, Massachusetts, who's been watching the show for many years. Looks forward to seeing some of the old timers.
She's talking about us,
I think.
Yeah.
Looks forward to seeing Mike Morgan back on the show. Does Cecile Rogers from Upton, Massachusetts. Well, chances are pretty good that before too long Mike will be back.
But it's a monthly qualifying round for the bowlers to get on the show, so they have to come out and have to score very well, and it's very competitive.
David Dupuis gets his first mark of the first string in the 8th box.
He's in quite a hole early on.
Rick Paquette from Laconia sends in a nice email to us. Thank you, Rick. Nice to hear from you. Just try to get through as many names and acknowledge some of the notes that we've been receiving. We'll give you the email and mail address a little later on. Ted Nam sent us a nice email a while back. Some of these have been around for a little while and we're just getting to them, so we apologize for the delay in acknowledging receipt. He was looking for the start of the season.
Oops.
And Rich Lotti opened in the 7th.
But it's also email that we probably did answer personally. I know between you and I, we try to write back to everybody. We'll read some on the air, but at least we try to give you an answer and thank you for writing before we actually tape the shows. So a 33-pin lead for Rich Lotti through 7 completed boxes. Now he's against a David Dupuis spare in the 8th. And this is not an easy conversion. It's the 1, 3, 7, and 10 for Rich Lotti in the 8th frame.
Everything but the head pin. And that'll be a 9 box for Rich. He's at 108 after 8. If you'd like to contact us, here's our email address, bowling@wnds.com. Just that simple. And we would love to hear from you. We get lots of emails, lots of mail in the regular mail from the U.S. Postal Service sent to 50 Television Place in Derry. But that's the email address right there, bowling@wnds.com. And that's a 1 in the spare for Dave Dupuis, a quarter Worcester. Just picked off the 3-pin. You know, we've talked about that so many times in the past. If you get up there and tried to do that, you couldn't do it. That's the mail address right there, WNDS TV, 50 Television Place, Derry, New Hampshire, 03038. If you are one who likes to sit down with a piece of paper and a pen and jot something down, that's the way to do it. Becoming a lost art, isn't it?
It really is.
50 Television Place, Derry, 03038. People get at the keyboard, punch up an email, push the button, and it's gone.
It's so much easier nowadays.
Missed the spare.
He's not going to hit 100 this game, is he?
Nope. And a 9 box. It's a 93 for David Dupuis. Rich Lotti's already at 108. So he leads by 15 pins plus whatever he gets in these next 2 boxes. So it could be a significant lead for Rich Lotti. Off the head pin and a half Worcester.
I think I mentioned earlier that he defeated John Zappi by 105 pins. Actually, it was the other way around. With all due respect to John here, I didn't want to keep you there at the losing end. You were the winner at 400 at 295 against Rich Lotti when he was last on back in October 3 years ago. Off to a much better start this week, though.
Another email from Mr. E. Tremblay from Hampstead, New Hampshire. Mr. Tremblay, thank you very much for your note. And a 10 box for Rich Lotti right there. He's at 118. 25 pin lead with a box to go. And another email from Frank Bettinelli from Waltham, Massachusetts. Frank, thanks for the note. Nice to hear from you, and thanks for watching Candlepin Stars and Strikes on WNDS TV.
This will be an interesting shot. 7 and the 10. Try to cap that one piece of wood.
Rich will be open in the 10th frame, so he finishes open 4 boxes in a row. 4 marks in the first string for Rich Lotti to 1 for David Dupuis. An 8 box, a 126 first string for Rich Lotti. A 33 pin lead for Lotti over David Dupuis. Headed to string number 2, and we continue from Leda Lanes in Nashua, New Hampshire. It's Candlepin Stars and Strikes on WNDS TV. Rich Lotti ready to lead us off in string number 2. He leads David Dupuis by 33 pins, 126 to 93. After 1 string, and we continue to read your letters and emails that we've been receiving over the past several weeks.
Here is a winter weather statement from the National Weather Service in Taunton, Massachusetts, issued at 11:40 this morning. The winter storm warning for Cheshire and Hillsborough counties in southwest New Hampshire has expired. Significant snowfall has ended. Therefore, the winter storm warning has been allowed to expire. There may still be periods of light snow this afternoon, especially from Jeffrey to Worcester and Low-Atlantic.
Perfect. 2 marks in a row to start out for Rich Lotti in the 2nd string. Steady, consistent, smooth delivery. Now Dave Dupuis. And if you want to find out what's going on at WNDS, there's the website address, WNDS.com, and I venture to guess there's a picture of Al Caprelian somewhere on that website.
Him and Homer Simpson.
I think that's a fair bet.
I'd say so. Is your picture
WNDS.com for the latest happenings. WNDS News Now. You'll find out what's going on with the newscasts, with the presidential primaries coming up. Mike de Blasi and Ted Panos with sports, and always Al Caprelian with the weather. David Dupuis with a 10 box to start out. He needs to start marking. And if you'd like to find more information about the next roll-off, and perhaps you can become a participant in the roll-off and maybe find yourself in one of our future telecasts, LedaLanes.org. That's the website. Check it out. It'll have all the information you need, or you can call Leda Lanes at 603-889-4884. There's the website address, LedaLanes.org, and there's the phone number. 889-4884, Leda Lanes in Nashua, New Hampshire. An 8 box for Dave Dupuis, who's having all sorts of problems finding the range here in this his 3rd match of this ladder series.
Runner-up today will pocket $550 plus whatever bonus money. And the winner plays Anthony Pastore next week for a chance at $1,500 and a berth in the Tournament of Champions that will begin sometime around April.
5 in the mark. Bonus money shot coming here for Rich Lotti. Can he make 3 marks in a row? Ooh, he almost did. He gave it a good run. Left the goalposts standing, the 7 and the 10. But no bonus money. And it'll be a 9 box. right on the head pin, a little too full.
So it's the 2, the 4, the 6, the 7, and the 10. And one piece of wood pretty much behind all the pins over on the right-hand side wouldn't be much of a factor. Well, he's got the 7-10 again for his third shot. This time he's got a little wood on the right side to work with. Last time he had nothing. So back-to-back 9s for Lotti, giving David Dupuis a chance to perhaps regroup and put a couple marks opposite those 2 open frames.
He needs to do that right here as we hit the halfway point of the match. On lane 34 at Leda Lanes. Good pocket shot for David Dupuis that time, and a spare opportunity. And the mark for David Dupuis. First mark of the second string. He raised his hands. Show of relief.
Victory,
yeah, a little show of relief. Looking for 2 in a row now. He's off the head pin though. Just can't find the range. Put 5 in the spare.
No wood to help him out on the 4 horsemen left side and the 10 pin on the right.
Got a shot at it. Nice shot by David Dupuis.
Was nice.
Well done as we go to the break. Rich Lotti has the lead over Dave Dupuis as we near the halfway point. We're coming back to Leda Lanes in Nashua for Candlepin Stars and Strikes on WNDS TV. Rich Lotti to lane 34 at Leda Lanes as we welcome you back to Candlepin Stars and Strikes on WNDS TV. Dick Lutz with Mike Morin. Kevin LaFawn's our director this afternoon. Dean Zanello's on graphics. Rob Fay has joined the crew in the truck. Have no idea what he's doing. Alex Kalistoff is on audio. Keith Webb is our engineer. Matt DiFilippo, David Lawyer, and Larry Haber are manning the cameras, making it possible for you to watch the best candlepin bowlers in the world on WNDS TV. I'm told that Rob Fay is not doing very much of anything outside of creating havoc in the truck. Nice shot by Rich Lotti.
Rich Lotti enjoys sports. Many of our bowlers do. Does a little golf, a little bit of skiing, but with a 14-month-old at home, little less time for that kind of activity. He's enjoying fatherhood these days with wife Sandy. They got married 3 years ago. Lovely blonde daughter. Showing me a picture before we started today.
Rich with a spread eagle, now trying to pin as best he can.
Hey, he's opening the door for David Dupuis now. This will be 4 consecutive non-marked boxes for Rich Lotti. And Dupuis is on 2 spares.
And a 7 box. That hurts.
Yeah.
So now Lotti will watch David Dupuis try to climb back into the match. You hear the PA in the background. They're calling out people who are waiting for open lanes at Leda Lanes. It's a great afternoon of bowling here on the holiday. A lot of people here to participate with families, and a waiting line for open alleys, which is great. Now Paul Willette's running down to see if that pin that is
I think it's okay.
down there is too far out. If it needs to be removed, it will be removed, and Paul's checking it out. Looks like he's going to pull it out. No, he's checking it out. He moved it away.
Well, there you go. Must just have been touching the fair play line.
So Paul brings it out.
He's indicating about a half of an inch, watching him gesture over to the right to the scoreboard. Paul not only chases the pins when they need to be chased, he also keeps score for the folks here at Leda Lanes watching.
9 box for David Dupuis. Needs a mark badly. Right through the middle. Spread eagle. He broke up the spread eagle with a 10-pin caving, but still not an easy shot. The 2, 4, 7 on the left, the 3 and the 6 on the right. Look at that. He sent that pin sliding right between the 3 and the 6. Just that close. But another open frame for David Dupuis. And it'll be a 10 box. He picks up a few pins. Actually, he's picked up 1 pin in the string. Dupuis now trailing by 32 pins in the match as we have passed the halfway point.
Still holding on to a 32-pin lead is Rich Lotti. There's a difficult shot. 3, 5, 6, 7, and 10. And there's no wood to help out.
Oh, what a shot. Great shot by Rich Lotti.
Beautiful shot. Gets a round of applause from his opponent, David Dupuis, who always appreciates a good shot, even if it's the man who's trying to beat him. The great thing about this game is the bowlers all root each other on. Naturally, they want to win, and they're very, very fierce competitors, but they do appreciate a good shot. 6 fill on the spare.
And that will be an 8 box for Rich Lotti. He's 91 through 8. And again, an opportunity for David Dupuis, although he is up against the spare with a 6 fill. If he could ever put a couple of 3 marks together, he could get right back in the hunt. That's a good first ball.
And that's the pin he wanted to fall. That's the tough one, the one in the back when you've got the diamond.
3, 5, 6 still standing. Nice shot for David Dupuis, right on the money.
So that matches a 7th frame spare from Rich Lotti, who filled with 6.
Did you make reference to this article yet, Michael? Yeah, we did.
Yes,
we talked about it last week.
We talked about it last week.
Yeah.
The man in Cambridge, the
That's
gentleman.
a bowling alley in his attic. Hallway. Not a real alley. He just uses the hallway and sets up pins.
But he's got real pins that he uses and real bowling balls. Look at this.
Oh, look at that go. Won't go. David's down on the ground wanting it to fall over, but he couldn't get it to go.
It was a great try, a great effort on a very difficult shot.
And a 9 box.
So now he's got a 2-pin lead in the game, but still down by 31 pins with just 1 game and 2 boxes to go. And Rich is too far off on the right-hand side, leaving the 4 horsemen on the left side as well as the 5 and the 8.
Got an email from Glenn Ortolani of Billerica, Massachusetts. Michael, he says that he saw a pin jump up in the air, flip over, and land back down on its feet. You ever seen that happen?
I don't believe I have.
It went upside down and came back down and stayed up.
People are going to wonder, how do you score that? Well, it's a non-felled pin.
Still standing.
Still standing. That's right.
And that's a 6 box for Rich Lotti right there.
So he's going to struggle to break 100 at 97 through 9.
And he's over 100, and he's got a pretty good opportunity for a mark right here. That's the 3 pin with a piece of wood right out in front. It should go, but you never know. Yep, you got it. Seen stranger things happen in this wacky game of candlepin bowling.
Bowlers struggling this afternoon. I don't believe we've given any bonus money away today.
We have not. And that is an 8-pin fill in the spare for Rich Lotti and a 115 second string. 2 string total, 241. And David Dupuis needs a couple of big boxes right here to close out the second string with a rush. Almost had a strike. 9-pin drop. The 6-pin still stands. No wood to help out. How easy are single pin spares? They're pretty easy when you bowl like Dave Dupuis does right there. Well done, covering the spare. His 4th mark of the string. Lotti also has 4 marks in the string. He threw that one away, and he puts a 1 in the spare.
Second time today he's done that with a 1 fill on a spare.
That's costly.
So whatever ground he's made up, he's pretty much given back with that 1 miscue.
Look at this for a second shot. He wishes that were the first shot.
But he's still going to lose this game, and he's going to fall further behind, whereas he was at least making some progress.
And that'll be a 9-box and a 113 second string for Dave Dupuis. A 35-pin lead for Rich Lotti over David Dupuis as we head to the third and final string from Lita Lanes in Nashua. We continue with Candlepin Stars and Strikes. David Dupuis will be first to go as we start string number 3 from Lita Lanes in Nashua. Dick Lutz with Mike Morin. The winner advances to the championship match of the ladder series next week against top seed Anthony Pastore. Dave Dupuis needs to put a few marks together, and he starts out with a good first shot and a good spare opportunity right here. Trailing by 35 pins. Starts off with a mark. How explosive is David Dupuis? Well, he has a high single of 203. Which ain't chopped liver, as you watch it again as he made the spare. Again, he missed the head pin on the spare, but he got a pretty good break. The head pin's going to fall.
Well, that's...
I don't think he wanted it to.
No. He does have some wood there that can work in his favor, but he's going to have to make it fly around. I don't think it's angled quite the way he'd like it to be.
I think he's going to play way to the right of that piece of wood there.
I think he will.
That's what he's going for, and he'll make the shot.
Nice. You called it. So
the other option was to try to go down the middle and spray the wood to the right, the ball to the left. But he chose the way it looked like it would be the easiest. And he's opening the third string with 2 marks. Now Rich Lotti with the lead. Missed the head pin with his first ball. The 1, the 3, the 7, 8, 10. Look at this shot by Rich Lotti. How's that? That's a great shot. Not an easy shot. Watch it again. Right in the 1-3 pocket. There goes the wood off the deck to kick the 7 into the 8. Good spare by Lotti. Good pocket shot to follow up with 8 pins in the mark. And another spare opportunity.
It's discouraging for David Dupuis, who thought he'd maybe get 5, 10, 20 pins back, and as it turns out, he's probably just going to be even. Yep.
2 marks for each starting out the third string. Maybe we'll give away some bonus money.
You think?
David Dupuis needs to continue to mark.
Triple strike jackpot is holding $750, but we haven't seen anybody come anywhere close to that. This ladder, anyway.
Good first ball by Dupuis again, and another spare opportunity set up with good wood for him. Some bonus money here for David Dupuis.
So he's not going to stop, but he needs to keep doing that with a 35-pin deficit.
$50 in bonus money. The wood was set up perfectly for that. He needs another, and another, and then another. Right on the head pin. Good first ball. Will it go? Yes, it will. 4 marks in a row for David Dupuis.
And how will Rich Lotti respond? Well, last time he responded with 2 marks.
See if he trumps him with a strike here. And it missed the head pin. Good fall on the second pocket hit. Puts 8 in the mark.
So nobody has blinked yet in this match.
Tough shot here, but makeable. The 1 and the 9. Missed it. Just sent the 1 pin past the 9 pin. Open frame third box for Rich Lotti.
So there's going to be 10 or 11 pins back in David Dupuis' column that he was missing.
9 box. He's picked up 10. And now Lotti's up against the strike.
Now it gets interesting.
Good first ball right in the pocket. Breaks up the split. The 5 and the 8. Piece of wood is definitely good.
Yep.
It's on. It's frozen to the 8 pin. All he has to do is hit the 5 pin, and he's got it. And he made it. Yep, thought he was going to miss it, but he made it. So we go to the break. Both bowlers are working on marks when we come back to Leda Lanes in Nashua for the conclusion of Candlepin Stars and Strikes on WNDS TV. As you look at children bowling at Leda Lanes on a Veterans Day holiday that we are taping on this Tuesday, November 11th, you see kids off from school enjoying Candlepin bowling at Leda Lanes. We continue with our match with Dave Dupuis trailing Rich Lotti. Trying to get back into the match. He's put 4 marks in a row, back to back to back to back to start the 3rd string. And now he's got a tough shot.
This is his first serious challenge this match as far
Working
as a
on a
makeable
strike.
spare. It's the 4-5 and the 7 with the piece of wood jutting out over the left gutter.
Not going to make it. He's open. And that'll be a 9 box.
Well, it's an 82 half. So David Dupuis still has life. Rich Lotti, though, has 3 out of 4 spares himself. Not going to let go easily, that's for sure.
Thanks to Irene Kennan of Brookfield. There's a strike for David Dupuis.
Just goes about his
Watch it
business
again.
very
Yep.
methodically, very systematically. Rich Lotti now up against an open frame, the only one this game for David Dupuis in the 5th.
Irene Kennan of Brookfield, Massachusetts, sent in an article that appeared in the Worcester Telegram a while back about Candlepin bowling and the Colonial Bowling Center. Thank you very much. We received many copies of that article, and we appreciate each and every one of you sending in articles about bowling. Whenever you see something about Candlepin bowling, we like to know about it. Nice shot by Rich Lotti. He throws another mark up there.
This is going to be quite a game for both these
Yep.
fellas. The winner goes on to bowl Anthony Pastore next week for a shot at $1,500 cash and a spot in the Tournament of Champions.
We're still looking to give away some bonus money to Rich Lotti. 9-pin drop and an opportunity for some extra cash here.
The score is tied, Dick, after 5 at 82.
82 halves.
Unbelievable. However, David
Lotti's
Dupuis,
surveying the situation with the wood right now. Is the wood way to the right? Nope. That's not the way he chose to go. He's going to be open. So David Dupuis will have a chance to gain a little ground. And that'll be a 9 box for Rich Lotti. Dupuis trails by 34 pins, minus whatever he gets in the strike.
of course, a double strike would wipe out half of that margin right now.
He puts it right on the head pin, and he leaves a split.
Discouraging, but he's got that wood that's going to help him out over on the
If
right
that wood
hand
is
side.
frozen, and I think it is, it gives him a little bit of an area with which he can succeed. Nope, not going to do it. He's going to put an 8 in the strike. So he's picked up 9 pins, but he needs more than that. And that's going to be a 9 box.
Bowler with the high score, the high single score, receives an extra $50 in bonus money. By the way, if we don't mention that too frequently, that is the case. We have $750 for any bowler who throws 3 strikes in a row today.
Good first ball by Dupuis. Can't get the strike. Needs to mark. Cannot afford to miss this shot. Right on it. 6th mark of the string for David Dupuis. Now Rich Lotti trying to hang on to the lead. Right through the middle it goes. Broke up the spread eagle, but still 6-pin stand. The 3, 6, 10 on the right, the 4, 7, 8 on the left.
Still got a cluster on the left-hand side. 2, 4, 8. And the 3-pin over on the right-hand side. Almost unmakeable.
And it's an 8 box. Got a lengthy email here from Dan McCarthy of Goffstown, Massachusetts, who apparently would like to become the producer of a bowling show. Lots of ideas and suggestions, and Some of them very innovative. And Dan, thank you very much for your suggestions.
But if they cost money, forget it.
We appreciate hearing from you, and appreciate the fact that you are so interested and enjoy watching the show. Do you remember that one?
I do, yes.
Yeah.
I did see it. And the guy does have some good ideas.
Yeah.
Was he the guy that gave us the suggestion for changing the bonus ball?
Yes.
Selecting the card?
I think so.
Before the bowler throws the ball. And we thought it was a great idea. So we do listen to what you have to say. We can't use all your ideas because then we'd have to pay you. And we're too cheap to do that.
$7 for Rich Lotti. He's at 106.
All right, it's got to take it off the sheet here, Dupuis, to have any chance at all.
22 pins minus what he gets on this ball with just a couple of boxes remaining. So he needs a big fill, and he puts 8 in the spare, but look at what's standing.
Didn't need that.
The 7 and the 10. There's some wood.
What do you do with this, Coach?
Well, David's trying to figure that out as well as you at home. I think you got to hit that front wood and just hope for the best.
Just plow into it, huh?
He gave it a shot. He did not make the shot, so he'll be open in the 9th frame.
Hope is now flickering for David Dupuis after that
That'll be a 9
shot.
box. He's at 136. He definitely needs a mark. A double mark would probably be, or a double strike would be beneficial. Good pocket shot. Can he make the strike? He cannot. And that's just about going to do it.
Yeah, the best he can do is 362, and Rich Lotti's already got 347, so Rich would only need 16 pins to win if David spares and then strikes.
He does put the spare on the board.
Mathematically, he's still in it.
If you'd like to join us for our next taping, it's coming up on the 9th of December, 10 o'clock in the morning, and that is mixed doubles. You'll get a chance to see some of the best men and some of the best women candlepin bowlers in the world. And that's going to be a 7-pin fill, a 153 third string for David Dupuis. Rich Lotti needs 12 pins to tie, 13 pins to win. Here is Lotti. Right on the head pin, and it's a strike for Rich Lotti.
Game, set, match.
So Rich Lotti will advance. Anthony Pastore is next for Rich Lotti. It'll be the number 1 seed against the number 2 seed. Put 9 in the strike. He's at 134 right now. And it'll be a 135 third string for Rich Lotti. 3-string total of 376 to David Dupuis' 359. Lotti advances. When we come back to meet our bowlers right after this on WNDS TV's Candlepin Stars and Strikes.